enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
Hey,
right.
I've been here many
once
times.
Again, and thank you for joining us this morning. It is a pleasure to have you here on the screens of Church of Uganda Family TV. And yes, you might be knowing that every year we do commemorate Bishop Hannington Day. But of course today we want to put it into your faces so that you can get to understand the purpose, the history behind this day, but also why we commemorate it. And this time round it is going to be commemorated, of course, on the 29th of October. And it is a pleasure that we have people who are going to be speaking to this, of course, from the province, but also the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity. So here with me, please help me welcome Rev Can Mwesigye. He has been here a number of times, and it is a pleasure to have him once again. He is the Director Ethics in charge of religious affairs. It's a pleasure to have you, Canon.
Thank you, Family TV, for this wonderful opportunity, and I look forward, viewers, to discuss the issue which I feel you want to listen to, and I am happy to be here once again.
Okay, thank you so much. And also it's a pleasure to welcome the Acting Provincial Secretary, the Church of Uganda, but also the Provincial Treasurer, Mr. Balaam Muheebwa. You're most welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Good morning to you all.
Okay. So straight away, Canon, I'm going to start with you. And the big question is to put a picture into the faces of the people out there. Why do we commemorate Bishop Hannington Day?
Good morning once again, viewers. Why do we commemorate Bishop Hannington Day? First of all, I think before we answer that question, I think it's better for us to know who is Bishop Hannington, or we begin with that. I don't know, moderator. Can I answer that, or I begin first of all to know who is this person?
Give us a preamble.
The Bishop Hannington, James Hannington, was an Anglican English missionary and martyr from England. He was actually the first bishop of East Africa. In fact, when he was consecrated a bishop in England, he was consecrated as a bishop of Eastern Equatorial Africa, which covers East Africa and the Horn of Africa. And when you say East Africa, that's Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. The Horn of Africa is Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea, and Congo. So this is the man who was born in 1847 in actually a well-to-do family in Sussex in England. And when he was born, he went to school, but history has it that he was an indifferent student, and indifference in such a way that he didn't want to settle to continue in one place. He was very ambitious and desirous to do many things, coming from a background of business because his father was a merchant. He actually worked at his father's factory for some time, and then from there he got that vision of wanting to become a missionary. He was ordained and then worked as a curate in his home parish church in Sussex before he was consecrated a bishop in 1884 June. And when he was consecrated a bishop, he had to venture in traveling to Africa to become the Bishop of Eastern Equatorial Africa. So this is a person who was very courageous, very adventurous, and because at the age of 15 years he left school to work for his father's counting house as a collector. But later on in 1867 he joined the Church of England. At the age of 21 he decided to pursue a clerical career, and so you can imagine the background being being a son of a merchant who was a trader and who had a big factory, and he joins a clerical ministry at the age of 21. So he was made a deacon, as I said. So why do we, that's the kind of man we are trying to talk about. So why do we commemorate this? Why do we actually celebrate or commemorate Bishop Hannington? There's a lot of things.
Maybe before we go to why we commemorate the day, let us first wrap up the entire life of his so that we can get to the understanding of why we celebrate the day. So I'm going to ask Mr. Balaam to give us a highlight on why it is so significant, why his life is so significant in our country, Uganda here.
Thank you, moderator. Bishop James Hannington is our first bishop, our first Anglican bishop in this region. As my colleague has mentioned, East Equatorial Africa. He was the first bishop. Now that is significant, but also he was the first martyr in our church. We talk of the Namugongo matters, but the Namugongo matters is after
Bishop Hannington.
It's after Bishop Hannington.
Okay.
So in a way, Bishop Hannington is somebody for us to remember because his life that was, he shed his own blood for the purpose of this church. So the church we talk about now originates from those times.
Okay.
So it is important for us to remember how he shed his own blood for the purpose of this church.
Okay, very important. And now, Canon, would you also take it from there to tell us about his mother? Because I'm sure there are so many people who would want to maybe remember what really happened or want to know what really happened. How was he murdered and why?
I first give the relevance of to add on my brother Balaam. Why do we commemorate Bishop Hannington? Then after that I talk of how he was murdered. Okay. First of all, as Balaam said, Bishop Hannington was considered as the first martyr for the Christian faith. First martyr for the Christian faith in Uganda. Very important. And as you know, a martyr is someone who dies because of his faith or her faith. And this time, to qualify it, it was Christian faith, which is the basis of our foundation. So in other words, we are commemorating a man who was the foundation for faith, because his sacrifice is seen as having laid the foundation for the growth of Christianity in Uganda. His final words are a testament that his death opened the way for the gospel in Uganda, because you know he said as he was dying, go and tell Kabaka Mwanga that I have purchased the road to Uganda with my blood. And that showed you that purchasing that road to Uganda with his blood, the saying goes in history, in church history, I think it was Tertullian who said that the blood of a martyr is the seed of the church. The blood of the martyr is the seed of the gospel. So his blood indeed became the seed of Christianity, because if you now calculate from 1885 in October when he passed on to 2025 today, Christianity in Uganda has grown to its highest peak. But that came as a result of his blood. So his last words was a famous testament to his mission. I have purchased the road to Uganda with my blood. In other words, why are we celebrating him? His inspiration for others, the courage of Hannington and other matters, as Balaam has said, the Uganda matters under Kabaka Mwanga strengthened the resolve of Christians and inspired more missionaries to come to Uganda. Now his death is commemorated annually, and therefore a memorial site has been set up in Chando. Now this has also contributed to making Chando a pilgrimage destination for Christians. I think that if the man never died in Chando, then Chando would not have become a pilgrimage destination for Christians in Uganda. So making it a significant religious and historical landmark. And I think that is a very, very fundamental thing that we should remember. Now, the reason for his death, why he was killed, the murder of Bishop Hannington is said to have stemmed from a mix of complex issues. A mix. I call them a mix. Some, it was political intrigue. But also there was a royal prophecy, what we call Mandwa in Uganda, which coincidentally predicted that the conqueror of Buganda kingdom would emerge from the east, if you're not aware, as well as the fear of colonial expansion. So the Kabaka of Buganda, now learning that there was a Muzungu, a white man coming from Busoga, which Busoga is the east as far as Buganda is concerned. Because instead of taking the right route from Lake Victoria to Buganda, he decided to pass through the east. And so he was seen as someone who was going to conquer Buganda, but also as someone, but also the fear of colonial expansion, because as you know very well, that Hannington paved way for colonialism. When I talk of Hannington, I'm talking of missionaries. The missionaries paved way for colonialism. Theirs was to plant the gospel of Christianity, but also it opened the door for colonial expansion in Africa. So, in other words, partly it was political, but also there was that prophecy, which where Hannington was seen. He was killed in Busoga while attempting to find a new route to Uganda, which was perceived as an intrusion. You see, you are intruding. You are an intruder as far as Buganda kingdom is concerned. So, because there was that popular belief that the enemies of Buganda kingdom would come from the east, that is the reason why this man he was actually killed. The circumstances surrounding his death.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you so much. And now, Mr. Balaam, if we can now speak about the Bishop Hannington Day. So, we see government is in this. When did this happen, and why does government offer in, or why did government designate Bishop Hannington Day as a national commemoration day?
Thank you, moderator. Now, first of all, it is important for us to note that the commemoration is not just beginning this year.
Yes, sure.
It has been happening, though at a lower scale. The dioceses within Busoga have been celebrating that. They are arranging the commemoration. They have been happening. The Church of Uganda has been participating. But around 2015 is when the Archbishop, the Church of Uganda, made an appeal to government to gazette the 29th October for Bishop Hannington, but also the 16th Feb for Archbishop Janano.
Yes, yes.
Now, consequently, both days were declared national days, and more to that, 16th Feb is actually a public holiday. This one is not a public holiday for Bishop Hannington, but it's also a national day. Now, so the celebrations have been continuing, but this year, during the commemoration of the Uganda Matters at Namugongo, His Excellency the President, who was the chief guest, did announce that it was actually going to be celebrated the way the other days have been always been celebrated, including the support to the celebrations. And that's why you see us now together with the representatives from government and the church jointly arranging this commemoration.
Okay. Wow. And I understand Canon is from the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity. So why is DEI taking lead in this commemoration?
Thank you so much, moderator. The Directorate for Ethics and Integrity is the home for religious activities and operations in the country. Way back in 2015, in June, the President, in his own wisdom, directed that a department that should coordinate and monitor religious activities in the country be established, and he appointed a director, and I am the pioneer for that office. Actually, originally there was no home for religious coordination or religious affairs in this country. It is only during the time of Idi Amin, we remember, history has it, that during the time of Idi Amin, there was a fully-fledged office in the office of the President in charge of religious affairs. But ever since Amin was overthrown in 1979, there has been a gap. The religious leaders wanting to collaborate and partner with government, they have just been using their personal initiatives. Just writing to the President, I want to do ABC, but I think in his own wisdom, in 2015, the President, through being protected by the Constitution, established the department in charge of religious affairs, and therefore, and placed it in the Directorate for Ethics and Integrity. So the Directorate for Ethics and Integrity is not only interested in coordinating the commemoration, but it is part of its mandate. Part of its mandate of the Directorate is coordinating religious operations and activities in the country, where commemoration of all religious days is embedded. Actually, the Directorate for Ethics and Integrity is the one that is in charge in this country to coordinate commemoration of religious days in Uganda. Talk of Bishop Hannington, Archbishop Jenan Lumu, St. Jenan Lumu, talk of Uganda Matters, and many religious days that come into force as far as religious organizations are concerned. So it's their presence in that work is not accidental. It is part of their mandate. And as Balaam said, actually Church of Uganda is the one that spearheads that, because the Bishop Hannington was actually an Anglican missionary. And as you know, that Church of Uganda is the baby of the Anglican Church, which was established way back in England. So you cannot separate the Church of Uganda from this. So we work together. We've been planning together with the Church of Uganda, and of course, most especially with the diocese in Busoga for this. As he rightly said, we've not been very active, but I think the commemoration has been taking place, taking a low profile. But I think in 2022, the President himself was in Busoga on the site, and he directed that the site be developed and improved, although work has not been done a lot. But as I said, that place is set to have to become a tourist potential. There is going to be a water processing plant. There is going to be a vocational institute. There is going to be a theological training school, paramedical school, modern accommodation facilities, trading center to help diversity tourism. And that has not been done, but the plan is already done, and the government is having an arm in it with the line ministries, especially tourism, Directorate for Ethics and Integrity, Works, and many other ministries, gender, who actually have a bearing in that arrangement. But of course, the Church of Uganda is also part of us. So we are not yet there, but we believe that beginning by this year and the years to come, it is Chando is going to be a pilgrimage destination area for Christians.
Thank you so much, Canon. And I also want to appreciate you, the viewer who is still with us. We're just going to go in for a very short break, and we shall return with more to talk about the venue, to talk about who is to attend, all those things. So please stay on as we continue.
Good.
Issues at hand. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. Issues at hand.
It's a nice name.
All right, welcome back, and thank you for keeping it to Church of Uganda Family TV. We are talking about commemorating Bishop Hannington Day, and yes, you've had a brief background of who he is, how his life was ended, and of course the issues that were connected to his murder and all those. But of course, it was a spark of something that we are enjoying right now, which is of course the religion that we're having, or the Christianity that we're having in our nation. So we should really be able to commemorate such people because of the sacrifices that they did put. With me in studios is Rev Canon Mwesigye, who is the Director of Ethics in charge of religious affairs, and that is from the Directorate of Ethics and Integrity. But also we have the Acting Provincial Secretary, Mr. Balaam Muheebwa, who is also the Provincial Treasurer for the Church of Uganda. So we are going straight to see about the day itself now. Canon, this is where I want us to go. First and foremost, I want us to give our viewers out there the actual date and the venue itself. You had highlighted about the developments that are yet to start at the venue, but you can highlight us more about it and also the date that was stipulated.
Thank you so much, moderator. Bishop Hannington, as I told you, and as Balaam has already told you, was murdered on the 29th of October 1885. And therefore that is a date that we are remembering, because his murder, as I told you, sparked off a lot of good things. It became the foundation of Christian faith. And also, so we as Christians in Uganda, both government and church, as you know that Uganda is a country that allows freedom of worship. Constitution captures it. It's not a state religion though, but it provides freedom of worship. So the date is 29th October, set for Ugandans all. As Balaam said, it is a national day, it's not a public holiday. Now the difference is that people continue working, but those willing Christians all assemble to that place from all walks of life, different areas, sub-regions, mostly Busoga region. We go to remember this great man who was the first Anglican martyr, first Christian martyr in Uganda, in Chando. Chando is in Mayuge district. That's where it is placed, and that is the site. And maybe you would like to know that place, Chando, what is special with Chando? What is special with Chando, why we commemorate or remember the life of Bishop Hannington in that very place, is because in Chando you find there about 6 stones which are memorial, which provide they are symbols. They give us the history of what exactly happened. One stone is the stone of torture, and that stone is still there. Are you getting the point?
Yes, sure.
Where he was killed. Another stone was his library, where he used to read. Another one is the chapel, where he used to worship, but also where he slept, his house where he slept. So by the time he's killed, he had a stone. So those 6 stones, they actually give us a clear perception, a clear view of when this great missionary, this great martyr was murdered, where he was, where. So that's why we want to develop it as, so that in future people know this commitment, and they are able. Of course, it reminds us that we should preserve life instead of eliminating it. I think the constitution is clear. People should be able. That is why the theme for the day is imitating God's goodness by doing good. We should aim at doing good always. We should get tired, but also we should know that humanity is all about life, people eliminating people's life. I think Bishop Hannington's death helps us to learn as Christians, as a country, that we should not claim people's lives at random without understanding why. Because I think there was something very important in that man. You see his courage, his enthusiasm, his determination to plant the gospel is something that cannot be matched. You can't match it with any other thing. So you see, it was very unfortunate for a country like Uganda to kill that important person. So it's a life. So Chando is very important because of those historical sites, especially the 6 stones that are there. If you go there, you'll be able to see where the man slept, where his library, his worship chapel, his the murder, what do you call it? The murder stone, or the torture stone, where he was tortured, and so on and so on. So the day is 29th October, and Ugandans should actually all go to that place to see where this first Anglican Christian martyr lived, and where he stayed before he was murdered.
All right. And Mr. Balaam, you earlier did mention that the celebrations have been happening, but this time around it is going to be quite unique. So can you highlight for us this kind of uniqueness? How different is it going to be?
Right. Thank you, moderator. To begin with, these celebrations, this commemorating this day, are going to be, we expect huge numbers.
Okay.
A lot of publicity has been done. As we talk right now, schools within the Busoga region are doing pilgrimage to that area. They are going there.
Wow.
So they are already of course, by the time we have this 29th, a number of these days people are doing exams, so the schools may not be able to participate, but they are doing there right now. Those who are not yet doing the exams, so that is already going on.
Okay.
But on 29th, we have His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda as the chief guest. He will be coming. And we are expecting huge numbers, and we are therefore going to have these celebrations at the nearby school. There is a school that is part of that area where we shall be having the celebrations. But also the chief celebrant will be His Grace the Archbishop himself. And His Grace the Archbishop has extended an invitation to all the bishops of the Church of Uganda. They should all be there. So the attendance, the profile for this commemoration is higher than, at a higher level than what we have previously been doing.
Okay, very interesting. So as we commemorate this day, are there planned activities? If you can highlight us, Canon.
Yeah, as Balaam has said, thank you, moderator. The schools are visiting the site. That's one planned activity. Balaam's words, appreciating, of course, Bishop Hannington's courage, appreciating his zeal, appreciating history. Because you see, when the students appreciate history, then they are. That's why we lack Pan-Africanists in this country, especially among the youth, because they don't appreciate history. So going there will help them to appreciate history. But also the redesigning the site. It's another activity. The local committee, the local organizing committee has already done a lot of work clearing the site, clearing the access road, because the access road was not there. Actually, the road was a bit not good. But as I talk with you now, the access road has been cleared. The site where we're going to do where the event is going to take place has been cleared. So redesigning the site is another activity. But also, as Balaam said, the service is another activity that will bring people from all walks of life beyond Busoga, which service will instill relevancy and legacy of Bishop Hannington. Because that is exactly what we are going to talk when the Archbishop preaches, when the President talks. It's all to do with the relevancy of this great man and his legacy that we should emulate. So I think those are some of the planned activities, and many more, as I said, planned activities are yet to come in the plan, the site plan, because a lot has to be done after 29th, which is actually next week. So after next week, I think government and church will sit and do a lot of improvement on the site, and also engage both international and national community. I mean, attract them so that they can always come and see this important event. So what I'm saying, that there is a lot that is going to be done with time as we move ahead.
Okay. So, Mr. Balaam, you did mention about the numbers that are going to be there this time round. Are we having a specific audience that we want to attend? Who is supposed to participate specifically is my question.
Okay. Maybe just before I answer that, just to supplement what my brother was saying, that one of the activities we do expect is that after the service, the pilgrims are expected to, those who are interested, will be able to move around and see what are those stones, those various stones that I mentioned. Because it's interesting to attach meaning to all those stones to the congregation. Now, as for the numbers, we are expecting huge numbers. There's no doubt about that. Now, these numbers, the majority of these people will be coming from the Busoga region. Busoga region has 3 Anglican dioceses. There is the Mother Diocese, Busoga Diocese. There is the Diocese of Central Busoga, and the Diocese of East Busoga. Now, in every year, the dioceses in Busoga, they have a leader, a leading diocese. So the Diocese of East Busoga this year is leading the commemoration. So Right Reverend Bishop Hannington Subi, interestingly, has a similar name with the with the day we are talking about. So Bishop Hannington Subi is leading the arrangements there, so he's chairing the local organizing committee. And because of that, there are many people that are going to come from his own diocese, but also the dioceses from Busoga. Now that aside, we also have many others who will be traveling to that place, including delegations from the different dioceses, the Anglican Church, but also we have other interested people, we have stakeholders, the government is going to be represented. Remember, His Excellency the President is also the chief guest, and by
the
that,
MPs,
the MPs, a number of people will be traveling. But also, we have visitors who are coming from, especially UK. Those who are attached to the family of the late Bishop. And every year they actually do come and participate in the commemoration. So we are expecting visitors from within this country, but also outside the country. So it's a big day.
Okay. Very interesting. Canon, you did mention about the young people not appreciating history and all those, and something ran into my mind. For the people out there, what lessons can they get from the entire story of Bishop Hannington? His obedience, his sacrifice. So some other person, if intimidated or tortured, would say, let's leave these things, I do other things. But he continuously went ahead and was murdered. So what lessons should the people out there get from his entire story? Maybe to also strengthen Christianity somewhere out there.
Thank you so much, moderator. That's a very fundamental thing. In fact, that is the gist of why we are commemorating. What are we learning as a country? The youth, the old people. Number one is that Bishop Hannington was very courageous. As I said, a courageous missionary. Not all missionaries were very courageous. First of all, this is a man who first fell sick and had dysentery and malaria, and instead of succumbing to fear or despair, he began, at his deathbed when they pierced him, he sang.
Wow.
Yes, he sang a song, and the words were, Jesus, he said that, safe in the arms of Jesus, safe in the arms of Jesus, at the top of his lungs, of course. The man was bleeding, and then he said he was safe in the hands of Jesus. That's courage. How can you sing when you are already dying? So courage is very important, and also being adventurous, because many people, we need to adventure into the unknown world. Very important, because people fear to adventure. That's why we are poor, by the way. Many people are poor because, especially young people, they fear adventure. Someone was saying that what makes people poor is ignorance, but also when people they lack integrity and they have bad character of famtuma. That's what makes people poor. But I think this man we can learn one lesson, is that he was courageous and adventurous. Number two, tolerance. We need to be tolerant to one another. I think a big lesson to Ugandans and to young generation is tolerance. Actually, we need to tolerate one another. It's not a matter of fighting one another, killing one another, hating one another. Whether we are different in thinking, in religion, in perception, in vision, I think there is need for tolerance. Even the current politicians in this country need to learn from Hannington the issue of tolerance. But also, we need also another lesson is that we need to protect life instead of causing death to humanity, because humanity is all about life. The way he died is we need to learn a lesson as Uganda and not repeat the same, but also to understand one another. And another thing is patience. I think the Kabaka Mwanga was impatient, but also the Chief Luba was also impatient, because there is also another historical saying that the Kabaka said Mute, then another one is, the Lubas understood it Mumuite, Mumuite in Lusoga, Mumuite and Mumute. So, but you see, it's but still, both of them, but especially, so there was lack of patience. None waited. Wait a minute, what is this man all about? What is his intentions? Does he have good intentions for Uganda? And in future, as you can see, his intentions were very good, because he became the foundation of our faith as far as Christianity. And Christianity has done a great job in this country. There's nobody can debate about that. It has done a lot of. That is why even our motto as a country is for God and my country. That is why even our anthem is a sermon. So there's no question about that. So patience with each other, but finally aiming at doing good at all the time. And that is why Church of Uganda, and I want to salute the leadership of the Church of Uganda of choosing that theme in Galatians, doing good all the time, aim at doing good all the time. So I think those are some of the lessons I pick from this man, courage. You can imagine his last words: I have purchased the road to Uganda with my blood. That's very important. It's a big lesson for us to learn from. Yeah. Wow.
Thank you so much, Canon. And unfortunately, we just have a few minutes to leave. So I'm going to request Mr. Balaam to give us your final thoughts about this day, but also your call to the public in regards to celebrating it.
Yes. Thank you. It is important for us to recognize, especially for us as faithfuls, that the journey of salvation is not smooth. What Bishop Hannington went through, probably in our own small ways, we've gone through some of these things. And therefore, we should persevere, we should be patient, we should, like Rev Can was advising, those are the lessons we learn. And we should appreciate that it's not going to be easy at all. So the journey, the road to salvation is not a smooth road. It has those challenges. Some have paid with their own blood. Others, they may not have paid by their own blood, but they have also experienced similar things. And therefore, we should anticipate such upheavals. But we also want to call upon all Ugandans, and even non-Ugandans, wherever you are, please do come and participate in the commemoration. This commemoration is so fundamental, it is so unique. Uganda is, some people call it the land of the martyrs. That experience is not in every country.
No.
And therefore, it is important that people come and participate in the commemoration of Bishop Hannington Day. Let's be together and appreciate our history, appreciate some of the things that define who we are, some of these events that happened. So we welcome you all. Come to Chando. Chando is in Mwesigye district, not far from Jinja, and therefore we anticipate that your coming will give us the joy.
All right, thank you so much. Canon as well, your final thoughts in just a few seconds.
Thank you so much. First of all, Uganda celebrates Heroes Day, and I want to affirm the listeners, both government and church, that a martyr is a hero. but not all heroes are martyrs.
Oh.
That's very important. And to me, we should, as much as we put more emphasis and spend more money in Heroes Day, identifying the heroes, but also, as my brother said, as Balaam said, that this is a land of martyrs. Actually, people come from all walks of life in outside countries to attend the Martyrs' Day here. Because there is no country, as he said, by the way, that recognizes but also experienced such a martyrdom like our country. People dying because of their faith. I think, therefore, there is need to do more research in depth for the young generation to learn more about martyrdom, because martyrdom, for someone to become a martyr, it is a big sacrifice. So my lesson, my message is that young people of today and tomorrow need not to fear to engage into wars that are justified, because the objective of war is victory, and of course the objective of victory is occupation. Church of Uganda and Christians at large, we need to occupy space. Now that Hannington paved way for us to start Christianity in this country, we need to, I think we've failed in one way or another to occupy space. Yet he was a victor, he was victorious, he purchased the road to Buganda, the road for the gospel, the road to establish the gospel of Christianity in Uganda at large. And therefore we need to occupy space as Christians so that we are seen and Christianity is not put at the periphery. So we need to wake up, and that one does not mean buildings or churches, but it means the way we live, the way we walk, what we say, our lifestyle, so that we can be able to defeat evil and defeat vices and plant integrity and honesty in our lives.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Canon. It's been a pleasure, and I also want to appreciate you, Mr. Balaam, for the discussion. And I also hope that you there out now know who Bishop Hannington was and why we have to commemorate this important day on the 29th of October. So please, you're all called upon to be part of that celebration, not only to celebrate, but also try to imitate what transpired there, because the theme itself urges you to do good by imitating God's goodness. I want to appreciate you. My name is Luke Majumba. Please stay on. More programs are coming up.
Issues at hand. This is Church